again, and welcome to another edition of Suds and Country. Hi, I'm Herb Suds, and welcome to the show, my friends. We're in Freedom, New Jersey, just outside of Newton, New Jersey, at the Snowmobile Barn Museum. And Dan, you own the museum. Tell us what's behind these walls, and tell us what we can see.
When you walk through the door of this building, I have the largest snowmobile collection in the world. There's 7,000 small pieces. There's about 150 sleds on display. I think there's 7 in this building, only ones in the world, either one left, prototypes. You're going to step back into a part of history.
How many years have you been collecting?
Probably about 25 years.
How many years have you been riding a snowmobile?
I started riding, I guess we got our first sled in 1966. We used it here on the farm to get back and forth to the barn.
Okay, and that got you in the snowmobile business.
I was working on them, I was riding them, and I started working on them. I had a shop, and then I started collecting them, and here we are.
Just curiosity, how many different brands of snowmobiles do you have in there?
I'd say in the building right now, there's well over 100 different manufacturers.
Wow. And how many were there at one time?
We have paperwork and articles on up to almost 300 manufacturers.
How many, today as we stand here, how many are there?
4 left.
4.
So it's come a long ways and gone a long ways.
Well, Danny, we're in the Snowmobile Barn Museum, and we're looking at quite a classic here. How many of them are made, and tell me some details about this.
This is a 1940 Model A Elison. There was 10 made. There's 2 left in the world, one here and one in Sainer, Wisconsin at the Elison Museum. It's a pretty unique machine. It's powered by a 45 cubic inch, 25 horse Indian motorcycle motor.
Okay.
Originally it was just a wooden toboggan which he put a motor on to make transportation. These were the first production snowmobiles. And it was a good ground covering machine for snow travel.
What year did snowmobile become popular? The snowmobiling, should I say?
Really snowmobiling in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, so when people really...
This is pre-popularity here,
right.
basically.
This was the trial stuff. All these machines, these original ones, were made for a reason. This guy had a club foot. That's why he started with a snowmobile, so he could get around. Everybody had a reason why they made these in the beginning. But snowmobiles really started from 1900.
Good. Wow. All right. Well, Dan, we're standing in front of a Cricket here, a 1973 Cricket. It looks like it has a chainsaw motor on it. Am I correct in almost saying almost?
You got it. It was an MC49. It was the race and go-kart motors.
Okay.
This was built locally, Belfast, Pennsylvania. He was built in 1969. It was patented in 1972-73. It's the only one in the world. It's the only one that's ever been built. It was going to be built for a one-man, throw it in the back of your pickup truck, go ice fishing sled, and that's as far as it went.
No, it has belts on the bottom, I see.
It's belt drive, and you sit on a little bicycle seat, and it steers by, you step down on the runners in the back.
Oh,
so it's a little bit different. No steering wheel or no skis.
Is it more dangerous that way?
No, it just doesn't handle as well. You can't steer as well.
Right.
Yep.
And it's basically for ice?
No, it's for snow, but he was going to use it for going ice fishing.
Good.
So he could just throw it in the pickup truck himself and take it out in the lake.
One of a kind.
One of a kind, only one in the world.
As I continue my tour through the Snowmobile Barn Museum in Freedom, New Jersey, we have a gor-ski. I love the way they spell that.
Yep, it makes you think it's your, has to have something in the name that sounds like a snowmobile, so they had to put ski in there.
There you go. What's so unusual about this, Dan?
This is a 1971 gor-ski, another local made sled. It was made in Corey, Pennsylvania, less than 100 in production. And a quick little story about this sled. A guy had called and said there's a snowmobile and a barn had fallen down. It was a 2-story hay horse barn, and we thought we'd slide this sled out pretty quick, and it actually took a full day to get this sled out with a machine, taking the barn apart.
The paint job.
Paint job. This was really staying with the 1970s. They're real thick, heavy metallic, and the crazy design color seats. So everybody's trying to stay in the area that the sled was made looking at that time.
How many horsepower?
This sled is 436, so it's probably 25, 30 horse.
Okay. Kohler engine.
Yep.
That's popular in snowmobiles?
Right. That was one of the main manufacturers that they used a lot of Kohler motors.
Okay. Well, Dan, this kind of makes your snowmobile year-round use. Am I correct in saying that?
That's right. This was originally built. They built them to test the motors during the summer on the track, and a couple other companies were coming out with wheel kits, so they thought, let's try to make our snowmobile into year-round use. So you mount your snowmobile, you pull your track, you put it on this frame, and these were patented in 1972. There was only 3 of them made. They were recalled, so what happened is the guy started running these on the street.
Okay.
And needless to say, the cops didn't appreciate them, you know, coming down the street 100 miles an hour with your snowmobile with wheels on it. So it's a pretty rare piece. It's the only one we know of in existence that's left. The other ones either got wrecked or parted out.
Do they make snowmobile kits for today's? Or is that a discontinued idea?
Yeah, that's a discontinuous. For some of the smaller kids sleds, they have a wheel kit, so you can put the kids on the grass during the summer with a bogey wheel and let them run around the grass.
That's cool.
The big sleds, you need snow on the tracks for lubrication.
There you go. Well, my friends, we're wrapping up this edition of Suds and Country at the Snowmobile Barn Museum in Freedom, New Jersey. Dan, tell us about your website before we talk about this unusual Polaris here.
Yeah, if you want to check out the website, it's www.snowmobilebarn.com. It lists everything we do along with the museum. I have a petting zoo, and even here at the museum, there's hanging in the rafters, there's kid sleds, there's bicycles above it. We have a little bit of everything. If the family comes, we have a hiking trail, we have a walking trail, so you can come here for a day and have a good time.
You can spend days just in the museum here.
Right. Oh, yeah. If you're really into snowmobiles, between looking at the sleds, there's 110 foot of showcases of small things. I have a lot of one-of-a-kind, all the original production movies that we've turned into from 8 millimeters. Some guys come here and spend the whole day just watching movies.
Boy, you ain't seen nothing, my friends. What we showed you on the show, you got to come here to see it. Tell us about this unusual long wheelbase Polaris.
This is a 1962 Snow Traveler. This is what, these snowmobiles were originally made for transportation. People didn't have antifreeze during the winter. You put your car up on blocks and you got around in your snowmobile. This has got an Owen 16 horse engine on it. The trappers, you can see there's snowshoes on the side. The loggers, they had carts on the back for bringing in firewood. It was more of a work vehicle, but it would go anywhere. If you got it started, you were through the snow.
This is an unusual feature, lifting it up and down.
Yep, this has got a cable lift on the back, so depending on how deep the snow was, if the snow wasn't real deep, you pull your suspension up. Now all the new sleds, it's automatic.
Oh.
This way you'd bring it up so the drivetrain rode on top of the snow and on the runners. If the snow got deep, you could drop it down to get to the hard pack and keep you moving.
Dan, thank you very much for the hospitality.
Okay, thank you.
It's an amazing place, and you're an amazing human being, I can tell you that. I've talked to Dan for an hour, and he's just amazing.